Hey guys, welcome back. Today we are playing Super Mario Brothers. This is actually playing through the Wii mode on the Wii U. This is this week's random grab bag game. So we're gonna hop right in. And as you may know, this is one of the seminal classics in the on the NES. And it's sort of one of Nintendo's sort of first big games that really got the NES out to sort of in people's minds after the big crash back in '83, as they tried to sort of start their own thing and start convincing people that they want to play games again. So this was one of the very first games on the NES that really did that, because the launch lineup for the NES wasn't all that great. Had some interesting games, but very much I thought this was an interesting game to sort of come up after sort of playing New Super Luigi U for the Wii U, which sort of was a nice sort of shake-up of that whole New Super Mario Brothers series that I've sort of grown really tired of, because it doesn't really show that they've really learned a lot from the original Super Mario Brothers games, because all four of those games are basically the same. Sure, there are a couple power-ups that might change a couple things, make it a little more interesting, but as a whole, the aesthetic, the level design, all that is basically the same. And if you've played all three of those games on the original Nintendo, they're all quite different from one another. Super Mario 1 and 3 are sort of the most similar of the bunch, and even then they're quite different, because this game specifically is very much a sort of arcade style platformer, very much as you're sort of tasked with sort of trying to get the high score here, which sort of stopped becoming a big deal with the second and third games. The wrench was about just beating the game. Alright, there we go. So yeah, very much this sort of stuff is ingrained in our memories for anybody that played this, sort of getting the warp zone, the minus world, all that sort of stuff. You're in World 4. Got this dude sort of annoying us greatly with all this throwing dudes down here. So yeah, it's very much one of the best platformers around of all time. We use Virtual Console just for its quality sort of save state stuff. The Wii sort of had save state stuff, but it was not as well done as the Wii U does it. With just sort of specific, UI for all that stuff that makes it... Ah, crap. There you go, you lose all of your stuff when you get this. Ah, crap. Yep, there we go, there's my first death. We'll probably not play too much because, it's Super Mario Brothers. You've got some great avenues for playing it. I have it on the 3DS, which I think is probably... I'm trying to think. I think it's probably the worst platform I own it on, because the 3DS screen is not great for Nintendo games at all. There's not much of a reason I would ever want to play a Nintendo game on that tiny screen, because it's really hard to see a lot of what's going on there. And I died again. So definitely, oh, game over. Yeah, you get 3 lives. It's not too easy to sort of get that stuff without sort of going through all these easy worlds and sort of picking up. Things are probably pulling off. There's probably a infinite lives trick that I don't really know. I don't really care to really figure it out. It's sort of like the challenge of this whole thing. As I said before, it's basically an arcade game in design. And I really like sort of starting from the beginning, trying to learn from my mistakes and try to do, you know, good runs that don't really waste my time here. But losing your mushroom self that early on is not too great. And yeah, Super Mario Brothers still looks good. This is going through the Wii U, so it actually looks pretty good. To me, it does. Might be a little stretched out on your end. Maybe, I don't know. I've never been all that particular for the whole sort of stretched issues that people had with the Wii, way we handled that sort of stuff. Yeah, I just have a big problem with the whole New Super Mario Brothers thing. Because it seems like a huge missed opportunity for them to sort of really show that they've learned a lot from the series that sort of made them huge. Because sort of one of the best things about that original series was that each game was so unique, so different, and they brought different things to the table, and then you get this new Super Mario Brothers series. It's supposed to be sort of a big it's supposed to be sort of a big you know, nostalgia piece, and they sort of just do the same things over and over again. And the art style is pretty much just like a 2.5D version of Super Mario Bros. 3. And they essentially use that same look throughout all 4 games. The music is really bad in the last 2 games, at least. 2 on the 3DS and New Super Mario Bros. U on the Wii U. Okay. Turtle shells are always a bad thing to really mess around with. And as you can see right there, perfectly showcased right there. Then we can go down there. Some coins. No butt stomps or anything like that. Very much sort of classic sort of look for this thing. And at times, it's definitely one of the weirder things is that it's going, I don't know how long it's going, about at least like 2 or 3 seconds per actual second that they're throwing that stuff in. Yeah, Super Mario Bros. 2 sort of brought a bunch of different weird characters to the mix. Okay, and I just used that one up to Fall to My Doom. So yeah, that brought sort of the whole dynamic of having the group of 4 characters to work with, which brings its own challenge when you're designing just one set of levels. And sort of had to sort of provide, you know, a means for all 4 characters to be able to get through without feeling like you're sort of doing a separate path for each. Well, there are probably certain areas in that game that, you know, one character can get through much more easily than others, but it's always sort of that interesting sort of design that I like to see out of Nintendo. And it's a shame that, like, New Super Luigi U is sort of an anomaly for them, when it really should be more of a common thing to sort of be able to play as more characters than just Mario. Outside of the co-op, especially. Because you got all 4 of those characters, they play a little differently. Luigi jumps higher than the rest, especially in New Super Luigi U. You got Nabbit, who does not take any damage from running into enemies and such. So he's sort of a good introductory character. But he's also sort of a trolling character because he basically can steal power-ups from his pals. So you can sort of just troll guys, and that's how you get your points, and sort of progress that way. Which is sort of a really cool design. that you don't see in any of the other games. And it's a shame that that's sort of a rarity for, you know, a series that's known for doing drastically different things each time. Then Super Mario Bros. 3 sort of brought... and sort of brought it more back to the classic style with its own sort of new way to get around the world, rather than just playing through these levels linearly with occasional ways to sort of jump around. That game sort of turned into sort of board game style overworld and sort of challenged you to get, you know, the whistles and all those warp zone stuff to, you know, find a better or easier way to get through than just sort of playing all of the levels in order, which is sort of a great sort of design there to that whole thing. It's a shame that sort of New Super Mario Bros. Just sort of ignores all that. Every single one of those games should be artistically and creatively different than the rest, but they're all basically the same, and sort of ignores, you know, what people liked about that original series that made them huge Mario fans from the very beginning. So then you continue that on from there to Super Mario World, where sort of continued some of the Super Mario Bros. 3 stuff, but you had Yoshi and the cape, and that just sort of adds huge new dynamics and ways to sort of play those levels. And you get Yoshi's Island, which is a completely new art style and design for that game. It's really awesome. It's really grown its own fan base that really hasn't gotten rewarded for that. Because the DS game, I believe, was pretty bad. There was the N64, so Yoshi's Story, sort of game that was sort of trying to take that art style and do something different with it, and sort of didn't really do that well with it. Then you get now we got this new Yoshi game where the art style doesn't look that great to me. Ah, crap. It looks really weird in a sense, but it seems like everything else is basically Yoshi's Island. I don't know how well it'll play, but, you know, then we get to, you know, Super Mario 64. You get to Sunshine, Galaxy. Even New Super Mario Bros. Was sort of a cool new thing at the time, but it never evolved beyond that core concept, which is sort of a shame. As you can see, from, you know, Galaxy to 3D Land to you know, all of those games, that's sort of a shame that that series never grew with it. Sort of the same way. Screw it. It's going right through. Okay. Oh, we actually got 2 more lives. Oh. Well, at this point, I'm pretty much done with this. Yeah, it's a great game. Pretty much 500 points on the Wii's Virtual Console, $5 on 3DS and Wii U Virtual Consoles. I'm assuming it's on both. Might not be. I don't know. Whichever one it's on, it's a really great game. I wouldn't really recommend the 3DS version. It's not a great fit for that screen. Oh no! Let's go back here. Oh, it's the easiest boss fight in the world. Easier than anything in... Uh-oh. Thank you, Mario, but our princess is in another castle. I think it's time to go through another castle and see you guys next time. So have a good day. I'll see you guys later.